In the quiet corners of the world, there exist ruins from a time long gone, remnants of civilizations that have shaped the course of history. But what if I told you that sometimes history itself seems to glitch? As if these ancient structures aren't just frozen in time but are somehow connected to something otherworldly. Today, we dive into the eerie phenomenon of the spookiest glitches found in some of the world's most mysterious ancient ruins. Story 1. The Vanishing Civilization of the Maya, El Mirador. Our journey begins deep in the heart of the Guatemalan jungle, where the dense canopy of trees hides a secret so profound it has taken centuries to uncover. Here, amid the tangled roots and towering trees, lies the ancient city of El Mirador, once a thriving metropolis, home to one of the most advanced and enigmatic civilizations in history, the Maya. The Maya were known for their extraordinary feats of engineering, their near-perfect understanding of astronomy, their breathtaking temples, and their intricate mathematical systems. Yet, despite their remarkable achievements, El Mirador holds a mystery that continues to haunt historians and archaeologists. This city, which flourished long before many others, was abandoned by its people without a trace, almost as if they had simply vanished. And here's where the first mystery begins. While the Maya are famous for their elaborate stone carvings and hieroglyphic records that document their cities and rulers, El Mirador seems to have left no such mark. No inscriptions, no references, nothing. It's as if the entire civilization decided to erase it from their collective memory. But why? What could have happened to a city that stood as one of the largest in the Maya world, with grand pyramids, expansive plazas, and vibrant communities? How could something so immense, so intricate, be left behind without a single mention in their elaborate records? The first whispers of El Mirador's existence only surfaced in local legends. For centuries, the jungle was its keeper, protecting it from prying eyes. But it wasn't until the early 20th century that a handful of explorers stumbled upon its ruins. It was a breakthrough, but the biggest twist in this story came much later, in the 21st century. Using satellite technology, archaeologists finally revealed what the jungle had hidden for so long: the outlines of the forgotten city, stretching as far as the eye could see. But here's the unsettling part. Despite all the evidence, despite the massive ruins that could not be ignored, no one had any idea why El Mirador was abandoned. Was it a natural disaster, an event so catastrophic that the Maya were forced to abandon their magnificent city? Or perhaps it was a shift in the social fabric of their civilization, a collapse so sudden and profound that the memory of El Mirador was lost to time itself? Or could there be something more mysterious at play? Something beyond the realm of natural explanations? Some have speculated that there may have been a supernatural force, something so powerful that it altered the course of history. But is that just the stuff of legend, or was it a force that caused the Maya to leave without leaving a single clue? As we peer into the ruins of El Mirador today, it feels as though the city holds onto a memory that is reluctant to share its secrets. With each passing year, new discoveries are made, but they only seem to bring more questions than answers. Why, despite being so advanced, did the Maya choose to turn their backs on such a monumental achievement? Could it be that they were running from something that we can't see? Or was El Mirador, in some strange way, a symbol of something greater, a city designed for a purpose that we have yet to understand? Could it have been a hub for the stars, aligned with the cosmos in a way we are only beginning to comprehend? As you walk through the jungle and step over the ancient stones, you can't help but feel the weight of the unanswered questions lingering in the air. The pyramids rise like silent sentinels, their smooth surfaces weathered by centuries of abandonment. And yet, the air still seems charged with the memory of the people who once walked these paths. Is it possible that the Maya didn't just leave El Mirador behind? They erased it from their history. Were they trying to hide something so significant, so terrifying, that even the history they left behind could not bear to speak of it? Or was it the earth itself that swallowed the city whole, hiding it away from the world for a reason we have yet to uncover? What happened here is one of the greatest glitches in the timeline of history. A city so grand, so advanced, yet it vanished without a trace. Is El Mirador just an abandoned city lost to time, or is it a reminder of a civilization's dark secret, something they tried to leave behind, but that still haunts us today? As we delve further into the enigma of El Mirador, we may yet uncover the final piece of this puzzle. But one thing is for sure, the Maya were not just exceptional builders. They were keepers of mysteries far beyond our understanding. And as we continue our journey through history, we might just discover that this glitch in time is not a mistake at all, but rather a deliberate omission, one that the Maya themselves might have been too afraid to confront. Story 2. The Echoes of Petra, a Mysterious Sound. Our next story takes us to the ancient city of Petra, nestled in the vast deserts of Jordan, a city carved entirely into the rose-red sandstone cliffs. Petra is renowned for its breathtaking rock-cut architecture, its majestic temples, and its water systems that still marvel engineers today. But behind its beauty lies a mystery that has perplexed visitors and researchers alike. A mystery that haunts the very heart of Petra. The Echoes. Once a flourishing trade hub, Petra was a city that thrived for centuries. Its strategic location connected trade routes that spanned the ancient world, making it one of the most significant cities of the Nabatean kingdom. But by the 7th century, something happened. Petra was abandoned. Slowly, over time, the grand structures that once housed bustling markets and towering monuments were left to decay, overtaken by the relentless desert winds. The city's story, it seemed, had come to an end. But here's the glitch, an eerie, inexplicable phenomenon that continues to perplex and intrigue all who visit: the sounds. They are faint at first, almost imperceptible, like a whisper carried by the wind. But those who venture deep into the Siku, the narrow canyon that leads to Petra's most famous site, Al-Kazne, or the treasury, often report hearing strange, unexplainable noises. Some hear the distant murmur of voices, soft conversations, as if the city's long-gone inhabitants are speaking just beyond the horizon. Others swear they hear faint melodies, music that seems to float through the air without any source. And then there are those who claim to hear the unmistakable sound of footsteps, though they are standing alone in the vast emptiness of the canyon. But the truly chilling part: when these sounds are investigated, there is never anyone else around. The canyon, which stretches for miles, is eerily silent, except for these echoes. What could they be? Some believe that these sounds are the echoes of the past, the voices of the Nabateans, the traders, the priests, and the people who once lived in Petra, now trapped in time. It is as if Petra itself is haunted by its former inhabitants. The once thriving city, though abandoned, continues to carry with it the vibrations of its past. The canyon itself, carved by human hands over millennia, might be resonating with the memories of a bygone age, whispers from a civilization that left behind no written records, no clear explanation for its sudden disappearance. But there's another possibility, one that some consider even more disturbing. Could the sounds be the result of electromagnetic anomalies in the area? Scientists have long speculated that certain parts of the world, especially regions with unique geological features like Petra, can produce unusual magnetic fields. These fields can interfere with the brain's perception of sound, creating what we call auditory hallucinations. Could these sounds be the result of a natural distortion, an accident of physics that creates the illusion of voices from another time? Imagine standing in the Siku, the narrow, winding canyon that once served as the grand entrance to the city. As the light fades, you find yourself alone, surrounded by towering cliffs that have stood for centuries. And then, faintly, you hear a voice, a whisper. It calls your name, or perhaps it's a language you don't understand. The wind shifts, and the sound seems to drift farther away, but not before you catch a haunting fragment. Remember, is it an echo of the past or something else? And yet, it's not just the voices. Some visitors to Petra have reported hearing footsteps behind them, footsteps that do not belong to any living soul. It's said that when you turn around, the space is empty, the canyon deserted. But the sound of the footsteps continues, like someone is walking just out of view. Could these footsteps be the result of an ancient event, a ritual, or even a tragedy that still lingers in the air? But wait, there's another theory that might be even more unsettling than the idea of voices and footsteps from the past. Could it be that Petra itself is alive in some way? That the city, built to resonate with the elements, earth, wind, and water, still holds some kind of hidden energy, a pulse that can be felt by those who are willing to listen? Some say that Petra was never truly abandoned. Perhaps it is not just a city made of stone, but a memorial, a monument built with a purpose we have yet to understand. Could Petra, in its own quiet way, still be communicating with us, using the very sounds of the earth to share its ancient secrets? As we walk through Petra today, the echoes remain, haunting the ancient streets, whispering in the wind. Are they just sounds, an illusion created by the elements? Or are they messages, ancient fragments of history that have been waiting to be heard? A call from the past that refuses to fade into silence. The glitch, it seems, is not just in the stones, the architecture, or the air. It's in the very fabric of Petra itself. And if you listen closely enough, you might just hear something calling from the past, urging you to step closer to the heart of this ancient city and uncover the truth behind the echoes. Story 3. The Phantom Cities of the Egyptian Pyramids, Giza's Time Distortions. There are few sites on Earth as universally recognized as the Great Pyramids of Giza. These colossal stone structures, standing tall for over 4,500 years, have captured the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and travelers alike. But as the sun sets behind these monumental pyramids, a deeper, more unsettling mystery begins to stir in their shadows, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about the past. The Pyramid of Khufu, the largest and most iconic of the three, has been the subject of intense study and speculation for centuries. It's an architectural wonder, with its precise alignment to the stars and its sheer scale defying the capabilities of the ancient world. But despite all the knowledge we've uncovered about its construction, there remains one glitch, a strange phenomenon, a distortion of time itself that has baffled both scientists and visitors to this day. Those who have ventured inside the heart of the Pyramid of Khufu, particularly in the Grand Gallery, often describe an experience that is anything but ordinary. Time, they say, begins to warp. For some, it's a sense of disorientation, a feeling as if they've stepped outside the bounds of ordinary reality. It's not just the air growing dense, or the weight of ancient history pressing down. It's more than that. It's the very fabric of time itself shifting. Visitors have reported that inside the Great Pyramid, hours pass in what feels like moments. What should be a brief exploration turns into an eternity. Minutes seem to stretch into what feels like hours, while those who leave the pyramid often feel as if they've aged, or been transported through an entire day in the blink of an eye. Some even claim that when they leave, they have difficulty adjusting back to normal time, as if their internal clocks have been momentarily out of sync with the world outside. So, what causes this strange distortion? Is it merely the oppressive atmosphere of the pyramid, the claustrophobic stone walls, and the overwhelming weight of history pressing down on you? Or is there something more? Something deeper at play? Could it be that the ancient Egyptians, in their unparalleled understanding of geometry, astronomy, and energy, constructed the pyramids in such a way that they could somehow manipulate the flow of time? Some theorists believe that the pyramids of Giza, and specifically the Great Pyramid of Khufu, might be aligned with some kind of energy source, something that distorts the very fabric of space and time. Could it be that the pyramid was not just a tomb, but also an energy beacon, designed to affect the very nature of reality? Imagine, if you will, the ancient Egyptians as not just master architects, but as keepers of forgotten knowledge, a civilization that knew how to harness cosmic forces. Some theorists even suggest that the Great Pyramid might have been tuned to the Earth's electromagnetic field, or perhaps aligned with celestial bodies in such a precise manner that it created an anomaly in the space-time continuum. Could this distortion be the result of some ancient form of quantum technology? Did the Egyptians build the pyramid not only as a tomb, but as a gateway to another dimension? As you stand in the Grand Gallery, with its narrow passageways and massive stone blocks surrounding you, it feels almost as if the pyramid itself is alive, breathing with a rhythm that doesn't quite match the world outside. The sensation is palpable, like walking through a time loop. Some visitors have claimed to feel the weight of the ages press upon them. Strange visions, a sense of stepping between worlds, and even whispers from those who were buried within the pyramid's depths. But it's not just time that seems to glitch in the Great Pyramid. Energy patterns have been recorded around the pyramid, with unusual spikes of electromagnetic interference detected near the king's chamber. Could these energy fields be contributing to the time distortions experienced by those inside? Could the pyramids somehow tap into the Earth's natural energies, amplifying them in ways that we are only beginning to comprehend? But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of this time distortion phenomenon isn't the experience itself, it's the implications. What if the pyramids were designed to protect something? What if this space-time anomaly was a form of ancient defense mechanism, meant to keep certain knowledge hidden, or perhaps to trap something or someone? Could the pyramids have been designed not just to preserve the bodies of pharaohs, but to protect something far more valuable, something that could alter the course of human history? Could the Pyramid of Khufu be more than just a tomb? Could it be a gateway, a machine that somehow tunes the flow of time, sending those who enter it on a journey not just through the pyramid, but through the fabric of time itself? As the mysteries of the Giza pyramids continue to unfold, we are left with more questions than answers. Each discovery leads to new, more perplexing questions, and the time distortions felt by those who venture into the heart of the pyramid suggest that we may be standing on the edge of a deeper mystery, a glitch in the timeline of human history that stretches far beyond the ancient world and into something far more profound. The pyramids of Giza remain an enigma, monuments to a forgotten era, designed with a purpose that we may never fully understand. And perhaps, just perhaps, there is more to these massive structures than meets the eye. As we continue to explore and uncover the hidden secrets of the pyramids, we are left with one question that echoes through the ages. What if time itself is the true guardian of the pharaoh's secrets? Story 4. Machu Picchu, the disappearing sun gate. High above the cloud forests of the Peruvian Andes, hidden among the jagged peaks, lies one of the most iconic and mystifying ancient sites in the world, Machu Picchu. For centuries, this Incan citadel has fascinated explorers, archaeologists, and historians alike. Built at a time when the Inca civilization was flourishing, it remains a sacred and enigmatic site. But within its stone walls and terraces, a singular mystery continues to elude all attempts at explanation: the phenomenon of the Sun Gate. This small yet significant structure, perched on the edge of the mountain, overlooks the entire city. But what's truly fascinating is not its design, nor its strategic placement, but what happens to it on the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. On this day, something extraordinary occurs that has puzzled observers for centuries. As the sun rises over the high peaks, it aligns perfectly with the Sun Gate, casting a shadow that stretches out in an exact line, tracing an ancient pattern on the stone beneath. However, here's the glitch: this shadow isn't static. Over the years, the shape and direction of the shadow seem to shift ever so slightly, as if it is moving in a pattern that defies natural explanation. The shadow doesn't follow a simple linear path. Instead, it appears to change its position every year, as though it is reacting to something beyond just the natural movement of the sun. Some have theorized that the cause of this phenomenon is linked to the Earth's shifting axis, a slow, imperceptible change in the planet's tilt. Could the alignment of the Sun and the Sun Gate be affected by this gradual shift in the Earth's position? Perhaps the Incas, in their deep connection to the stars and their profound understanding of the Earth's movements, were aware of this shift long before modern science even recognized it. But here's the more fascinating possibility. Could the Incas have known something we don't? Could this be a product of ancient Incan technology, not just an observation tool, but something far more advanced, something capable of interacting with the cosmic forces? Imagine, for a moment, the Incas standing before the Sun Gate on that solstice morning. As the sun rises, they would have witnessed the exact alignment of the celestial body with this ancient stone structure. But perhaps the Incas were not just watching the sun. They were using the alignment to harness energy. What if the Sun Gate was designed not merely for observation, but as a tool to manipulate the sun's energy, Could it have been a conduit, allowing the Incas to capture or channel solar energy in a way that modern science can't explain? It's easy to imagine a civilization so attuned to the natural world, so advanced in their knowledge of astronomy and mathematics, that they could create structures to tap into the very forces of nature. We know the Incas were skilled in agriculture, using the sun's patterns to guide their crops, and they revered the sun as a god, Inti, the sun god. Could this reverence for the sun have led them to create something more than just a ceremonial structure? Could the sun gate have been built as a device, a sacred tool designed to manipulate and possibly bend the light in ways we can't even begin to understand? And what about the shifting shadow itself? Some have suggested that it might not be a coincidence. Could this annual change in position of the shadow be linked to an ancient energy field, a field that could still be interacting with the stones of the sun gate? Imagine a kind of ancient energy grid designed not just to track the sun's movements, but to control them in some way. Could the sun gate, in its quiet, unassuming beauty, be a tool of immense power, one that has, over the centuries, been forgotten or perhaps lost to time? But the real question remains: why did the Incas build this enigmatic structure in the first place? Was it a tool for astronomical observation, a means of tracking the sun's movements across the sky? Or was it, in fact, a far more complex instrument, a device tied to an ancient form of energy manipulation? Perhaps the sun gate was more than just a symbol of the Incas' mastery over time and space. Maybe it was a message, a way of interacting with the cosmos, a technology that the Incas left behind, waiting to be rediscovered. As we continue to study Machu Picchu and its hidden secrets, the mystery of the sun gate only deepens. With each passing year, researchers and explorers are left with more questions than answers. The shifting shadow, the exact alignment of the sun, it all hints at a lost technology, one that might still be working today, hidden beneath the surface of our understanding. Could the sun gate be a key to something more profound, something that could unlock the secrets of the Inca civilization, and perhaps offer us a glimpse into a time when humans and nature were in perfect harmony? Or is it simply an elaborate cosmic coincidence, a quirk of nature that we're still struggling to decode? As the sun rises each year over the peaks of Machu Picchu, and the shadow of the sun gate stretches across the ancient stone, we're reminded that the Incas were not just builders of cities, but architects of a mystery that refuses to fade. Perhaps the sun gate is not merely a monument to the sun, it is a gateway, a timeless reminder that some of the most profound secrets of our world may still be hidden in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered. Story 5. The Glitch at Stonehenge, a Time Portal? And now, we reach the most enigmatic of all, Stonehenge. Nestled on the rolling hills of England, this prehistoric monument has baffled historians, archaeologists, and visitors for centuries. The sheer scale and precision of its construction, made up of massive stones transported from miles away, speak to an ancient knowledge that we still can't fully comprehend. But Stonehenge is not just a marvel of architecture. It holds a glitch, a mysterious anomaly that occurs every year, when the sun rises on the summer solstice. Every year, thousands of people from around the world gather at Stonehenge to witness an awe-inspiring moment. The sun's rays aligning perfectly with the ancient stones, casting long shadows that seem to stretch across time itself. It's a powerful and moving event, and it has become a spiritual experience for many. But what happens next is what makes this place truly mysterious. As the sun begins to rise, something unexplainable happens. Many who stand within the stone circle feel a sudden shift, a strange sensation, as if they are no longer fully in the present. It's a feeling of weightlessness, of disorientation, as though they've been transported through time. Some report vivid visions of ancient rituals, the long-forgotten ceremonies of the people who built Stonehenge, while others claim to experience a sense of connectedness with the ancient past, as though they are walking alongside those who first erected the stones thousands of years ago. What causes this extraordinary experience? Some believe it's the alignment of the stones with the movements of the solar system, a deliberate placement designed to create an effect that resonates with the natural rhythms of the earth. The builders of Stonehenge, it seems, had an intimate understanding of astronomy, able to chart the stars and the movements of the sun and moon with incredible precision. But is this phenomenon purely physical, or could it be something more profound? Could the energy of the solstice, the very alignment of the stones with the sun's path, somehow be opening a gateway, a bridge between past and present? The idea that Stonehenge might not just be a monument, but a portal to another time, has intrigued many. Could it be that the builders of Stonehenge created something far more than a site for astronomical observation? What if they discovered a way to interact with time itself, a way to travel across the boundaries of history? Imagine standing there, in the circle of towering stones, as the first rays of sunlight pour through the gaps. The air feels heavier, charged with energy, and for a split second, the boundaries between the ages seem to blur. Could you be standing in the very same place where ancient rituals once unfolded? Could the stones themselves be echoes of those ancient ceremonies, vibrating with a residual energy that links us to another time? For some, it's not just the sensation of being transported back in time that's compelling, but the disorienting physical effects that seem to accompany the experience. As the solstice dawns, people have reported a feeling of timelessness, where hours pass in what feels like minutes. Time itself appears to bend. Some visitors describe the sensation of leaving their bodies, as though they are briefly detached from the physical world, looking down on themselves from above. The sensation is so strong that many claim to have had out-of-body experiences within the stone circle. Could the very structure of Stonehenge create this distortion of perception? Could the stones, perfectly aligned with the movements of the cosmos, somehow interact with the electromagnetic fields of the earth in such a way that they warp the fabric of reality? The ancient builders might have discovered a way to manipulate energies, electromagnetic, cosmic, or otherwise, that affect our perception of time. Could they have unlocked a form of ancient technology, a kind of knowledge lost to history, that allows us to glimpse other times, other worlds? But there's another theory that's even more intriguing. What if the builders of Stonehenge knew something we don't? Some suggest that Stonehenge may not be just an astronomical tool, but a sacred device, a mechanism designed to harness cosmic energy and channel it in a way that could open a doorway to the past. Could this be a form of ancient time travel, embedded in the very stones themselves? The alignment with the sun, the moon, and the stars. It's all too precise, too deliberate to be purely coincidental. Could the Stonehenge experience be a glitch in the timeline, a tear in the fabric of history that lets us experience fleeting moments from the past? Could it be that, for brief moments on the summer solstice, the boundaries between our present and the distant past become permeable, allowing us to step back in time? And here's the unsettling thought. Could these time-warping experiences be tied to something darker? A long-lost knowledge, perhaps something so powerful that the builders of Stonehenge wanted to ensure that only the chosen few could access it. Maybe the visions people experience are not just memories of ancient rituals, but fragments of a forgotten truth, a truth that could change everything we know about our history and our place in the universe. As we stand at the edge of this ancient stone circle, we are reminded that the secrets of Stonehenge are not easily unlocked. The phenomenon of the solstice sunrise is just one of the many mysteries that continue to unfold, challenging our understanding of time, space, and history. So, next time you find yourself standing at Stonehenge, feel the weight of the ages around you. As the sun rises and the light dances through the stones, ask yourself, what if Stonehenge is not just a monument, but a doorway? What if, just for a moment, the boundary between past and present isn't so solid after all? And what might we discover if we could unlock that ancient gateway and step across the threshold of time? Story 6. The Glitch of the Colosseum Phantom Gladiators. In the heart of Rome, beneath the shadow of the Great Colosseum, history echoes through the ages, a colossal monument to the power and brutality of ancient Rome. This grand amphitheater, where emperors once watched bloodthirsty gladiatorial battles unfold, stands today as a symbol of ancient power. But beneath its stone arches, there lurks a darker mystery, one that has baffled visitors and researchers for centuries. A glitch in time, a disturbance in the very fabric of history that continues to haunt the Colosseum to this day. It is said that on certain nights, after the last of the tourists have gone and the crowds have left, the Colosseum takes on a life of its own. In the silence of the ruins, something strange begins to stir. Soft whispers travel through the air, faint, indistinct voices that seem to echo from the stone walls. The distant roar of crowds, once deafening in the arena, returns, but in a muted, eerie form, as if the ghosts of ancient spectators still linger, waiting for the next spectacle to unfold. But it's not just the sound that's unsettling. No, the most bizarre part of this phenomenon is the sudden, inexplicable appearance of figures, gladiators, to be precise. Phantom warriors, dressed in ancient armor, moving through the arches and shadows of the Colosseum. Figures that vanish when approached. At first, they seem like mirages, mere tricks of the light, perhaps. But then, those who've encountered them speak of something much more tangible. The clink of swords, the soft scraping of shields, and even the smell of blood that fills the air. Could this be a trick of the mind? A delusion caused by the weight of history pressing down on those who stand in this place of death? Or could there be something deeper at work here? Something far more profound, a glitch in time itself? A glitch that allows the spirits of the past to return, trapped in an eternal cycle, doomed to relive their final moments, over and over again. Imagine, if you will, standing alone in the Colosseum on one of those quiet evenings. The sun has dipped below the horizon, and the last light fades away, leaving the arena bathed in shadows. The air is thick, heavy with the sense of something old, something waiting. And then you hear it, the unmistakable sound of swords clashing. Not from the past, but from the present. The sound of battle, too real to be imagined. The crowd roars, but it's not the modern hum of tourists. It's the primal cry of bloodlust, the screams of gladiators and spectators from an age long gone. You freeze, unsure of what's real. Could these sounds be the result of the Colosseum's ancient acoustics, the way sound travels through its stone chambers, amplifying and distorting, carrying fragments of the past into the present? Perhaps. But there's something in the way these noises persist. They don't fade. They don't dissipate. They linger, as though something is trying to make itself known, trying to be heard by those who stand in its path. Then there are those who have witnessed more than just sounds. They speak of figures, gladiators, appearing in the corners of the Colosseum, moving through the arches and dark passageways. At first, these figures are indistinct, fleeting glimpses of men in armor, battle-worn and bloodied, walking silently as if they are caught in a loop, repeating their final moments in an endless cycle. But when the observer approaches, the figures vanish, fading like shadows, disappearing into the stone walls. Who are these figures? Are they truly the spirits of the gladiators who fought and died in the arena, forever bound to this cursed place? Or could there be a more rational explanation, a psychological one, perhaps? The Colosseum has seen more death, more suffering, than any other place on earth. The very ground beneath your feet is steeped in blood, thousands of lives extinguished in the name of sport, spectacle, and power. Could the intense energy of this violence have left an imprint on the fabric of time, an imprint so strong that it causes these apparitions to materialize? Could the Colosseum's dark past still pulse beneath its ruins, like an open wound that never heals? There is a theory that suggests the Colosseum, like other ancient sites of great violence, may act as a temporal nexus, a place where time bends, where past and present bleed into one another. Could it be that the Colosseum is not just a monument to Rome's grandeur, but a gateway to the past, allowing the ancient souls trapped here to manifest at certain moments, perhaps in the fading twilight, when the veil between worlds is thinnest? Some even claim that the glitch is not confined to the quiet hours of the night. There are whispers of strange occurrences during the day, when crowds are at their peak. Spectators, caught in the midst of their modern tours, sometimes report feeling the odd sensation of being watched, of being followed by unseen eyes. Is it the weight of the history surrounding them, or are they feeling the presence of the spirits of the gladiators, forever observing those who stand where they once bled and died? Imagine standing in the very arena where emperors and spectators once looked down at the carnage below. And imagine, for just a moment, that you are no longer a visitor, but part of a greater story, part of a history that never truly ended. The Colosseum is not just a relic of the past. It's a living memory of a civilization that existed long before our time. But the question remains, how much of this memory is trapped in the walls of the Colosseum? And how much of it still haunts the present day? The phantom gladiators, the mysterious sounds, the shadows that flicker just beyond the reach of your sight, they all lead to a haunting conclusion. The Colosseum is not just a ruin. It's a living testament to the violence, the glory, and the tragedy of ancient Rome. But is it truly a place of memory, or a place where the past continues to haunt us, endlessly replaying the scenes of battle, the roars of the crowd, and the spirits of those who will never be at peace? Story 7. The Mystery of the Sphinx's Hidden Chamber. At the edge of the Giza Plateau, where the desert sands stretch endlessly beneath the relentless sun, one monument stands above all others: the Great Sphinx. With the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh, this colossal limestone statue has guarded the pyramids for over 4,500 years. Yet, despite its grandeur and the countless mysteries surrounding it, the Sphinx still keeps one secret: a glitch in its very existence. While the Sphinx's enigmatic presence has inspired awe for centuries, its true purpose remains shrouded in mystery. Who built it? Why was it constructed? What did it represent to the ancient Egyptians? But in the 1990s, a discovery, one that no one could have predicted, shook the very foundation of our understanding of the Sphinx. Using advanced scanning technologies, researchers uncovered something deep within the rock, a hidden anomaly beneath the Sphinx's massive paws. Beneath the surface of the statue lies the potential for a secret chamber or tunnel, one that might contain untold knowledge, a lost artifact, or perhaps something far more profound, something that could change everything we know about the ancient world. But despite years of exploration and attempts to uncover the entrance to this hidden area, the chamber remains sealed. It's as if the Sphinx itself refuses to open up, holding onto its secrets with an iron grip. What could be concealed beneath the paws of this ancient guardian? Some researchers speculate that within this hidden chamber could lie a repository of ancient wisdom, the lost teachings of a civilization far older and more advanced than we ever imagined. Could it be that the Sphinx was not just a monument, but a library, a cryptic vessel, storing knowledge that time itself has almost erased? But there are those who believe the chamber holds something even more extraordinary: a time capsule, an ancient relic preserved by the Egyptians or some earlier civilization, containing knowledge that might bridge the gap between the ancient world and our own. Imagine a document, a scroll, or an artifact hidden for millennia, waiting to be rediscovered, a message from the past, one that could reveal the true origins of humanity. What if this knowledge had been hidden deliberately to protect it from forces that might have sought to destroy it? Let's pause for a moment and consider the sheer scale and precision of the Sphinx's construction. It is not just an artistic representation. It is a symbol, a bridge between the material world and the divine. Some theorists suggest that the Sphinx was built as more than just a monumental statue. It may have been a marker, a key designed to unlock some ancient mystery. Could the Sphinx have been placed at the center of a larger, more complex system, one that we are only just beginning to understand? The idea that a hidden chamber lies buried beneath its paws only deepens the mystery. Could the Sphinx, with its feline grace and human intelligence, be more than a tomb guardian? What if the true purpose of the Sphinx was to protect something far more significant, something that the ancient Egyptians, or even an older civilization, believed must never be exposed to the light of day? But there's more. Ancient texts, legends, and oral histories have long suggested that the Sphinx was not merely a creation of the Egyptians, but rather the legacy of an even older civilization, one whose knowledge was so advanced that it had to be hidden, possibly from the very people who built the pyramids. Could the Sphinx be a remnant of Atlantis? Some theorists argue that the great statue is not a product of Egypt's third dynasty, but an artifact of a lost civilization that existed long before. Could this civilization have left behind artifacts, tools of knowledge or power, designed to influence the course of history? And then there's the possibility that the chamber beneath the paws of the Sphinx is not just a physical space, but a temporal one. Could it be that the Sphinx is not simply a monument to an ancient king or god, but a gateway to another time, an ancient time portal? A place where the very fabric of time is distorted, allowing secrets of the past to leak into the present. Could the Sphinx be a guardian of time itself, keeping watch over a crucial juncture in history, one that has the power to rewrite our understanding of civilization? As researchers continue their search, the question remains, why has this secret chamber, this hidden anomaly, remained inaccessible for so long? What does it mean that the Sphinx refuses to reveal what it is hiding? Is this a deliberate protection by those who built it, or perhaps a warning, a message that there are certain secrets best left untouched? For centuries, the Sphinx has stood as a sentinel of the past, watching over the Giza Plateau and the pyramids. But now, as technology advances and our understanding of ancient cultures deepens, we are faced with a question that refuses to leave our minds. What if the Sphinx is more than just a symbol of Egypt's power? What if it is a key to unlocking a past that has been hidden for thousands of years? The glitch lies not just in the Sphinx's construction or its symbolic meaning, but in the knowledge that remains buried beneath it. Could the truth be just within our reach, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover it? The Sphinx has always been a symbol of mystery and power, but could it also be the ultimate time capsule, preserving the secrets of an ancient world that may hold the answers to the greatest questions we've ever asked? Story 8. The Nazca Lines, a message to the stars. In the vast, sun-drenched deserts of southern Peru, stretching across the earth like an ancient riddle, lies a series of enigmatic geoglyphs, the Nazca Lines. These massive figures, some stretching over 1,200 feet, others as small as a few meters, cover an area of more than 80 square kilometers. They depict everything from animals, like the majestic hummingbird and spider, to geometric patterns and even human-like figures. To the untrained eye, they may seem like little more than a curious artistic expression. But to those who study them, they are a profound glitch in history, one that challenges everything we know about the ancient world. These vast and intricate designs are a wonder, not because of their size, but because of their impossible precision. It is said that these lines, etched into the earth long before modern technology, can only be truly appreciated from the sky. But here's the catch. The Nazca people, who lived in the arid plains of Peru around 2,000 years ago, did not have access to any modern flying machines or aerial viewpoints. So how could a civilization, without even a basic understanding of flight, create geometric shapes and perfectly scaled animals, visible only from above? The lines seem to have been created with an understanding of aerial perspective, a concept that wasn't understood by humans until much later in history. The figures and shapes they created were not meant to be appreciated from the ground. They were made for an overhead view, an understanding of spatial geometry that seems to stretch the bounds of what was possible for the Nazca people. This glitch in history, the ability to design something that couldn't be fully comprehended unless you were flying, has perplexed archaeologists for decades. But here's where the mystery deepens. What if these geoglyphs weren't simply artistic creations or even ceremonial symbols, but a deliberate attempt to communicate with the stars, with the gods, or with beings from another world? Could these lines, stretching across the arid desert floor, be a kind of ancient message to the cosmos, an attempt to reach out to something beyond the earth? Some theorists suggest that the Nazca people were not just creating art, but were actively trying to send a signal, one that could only be fully understood by beings who could see the world from above. Imagine this: a civilization living in an isolated desert, creating enormous images that could only be viewed from the sky. They did not have the technology to fly, but could they have been working under the belief that the gods or beings from another planet might be watching from above? And what if the Nazca lines were never meant to be seen by human eyes at all? What if they were meant to send a message to someone or something far beyond the horizon of human understanding? Could they have been waiting for contact, for a sign from a higher power, or perhaps even extraterrestrial beings? What if the Nazca people believed that the stars themselves were listening? Could the Nazca lines be an intergalactic message, a beacon for travelers from far-off worlds? Some theorists believe the intricate patterns and creatures depicted by the Nazca people may have been designed as coordinates, a kind of ancient map aimed at guiding visitors from other worlds to Earth. The figures, the lines, the giant spider, all of them have peculiar, almost cryptic shapes. Could these be intended to represent constellations or celestial phenomena that we still haven't fully decoded? Were the Nazca people, perhaps, intermediaries between humanity and otherworldly beings, sending signals that were meant to bridge the gap between worlds? But how do we explain the eerie precision of the designs? Could these ancient people have been guided by some cosmic knowledge, perhaps even influenced by advanced knowledge that they did not discover on their own? Could they have been in possession of astronomical secrets, passed down from an even older civilization, one that had mapped the stars and understood the movements of planets far before modern astronomy? Or perhaps were the Nazca lines part of an ancient ritual, a prayer to the heavens that called upon beings from the stars for guidance and protection? Some scholars have argued that the geometric shapes and patterns of the Nazca lines are deeply aligned with the movements of celestial bodies, suggesting that the lines were designed to chart the heavens. Could the Nazca people have been using these enormous designs as a form of astronomical calendar? Were they recording the movements of the stars, using the Earth itself as a massive celestial map? Then there's another theory that's even more unsettling. What if the Nazca lines weren't just a message to the stars, but a warning, a reminder of a time long lost? Some suggest that the lines could be remnants of a civilization much older than the Nazca people, perhaps left behind by a society with knowledge far beyond their time, one that understood the stars not just as distant lights, but as pathways to distant realms, perhaps even other worlds. Could this knowledge have been passed down through generations as a kind of cosmic inheritance, a legacy of the ancients, waiting to be decoded? As we continue to study the Nazca lines, we are left with more questions than answers. Why did these ancient people go to such extraordinary lengths to create these massive geoglyphs? What were they trying to communicate, and who were they hoping would receive their message? Were the Nazca people truly the first to understand the language of the stars, or were they simply the last to leave behind their message? One thing is certain: the Nazca lines are more than just a mystery. They are a glitch in history, a moment in time that continues to beckon us to look deeper, to understand a connection between humanity and the cosmos that is older than we can imagine. Could it be that the Nazca people were trying to remind us of something cosmic, something that links us to the stars themselves? As we gaze up at the night sky, we must ask, are we truly alone in the universe, or are the Nazca lines just the first whispers of a greater truth, waiting for us to listen?